trying to do here today. Trying to put a little bit of weight in the back. This is a low spin head, but you can make it spinny if you put a lot of weight in the back. We like spin, don't we, Kev?
Spin is our friend.
Spin is our friend. So because I'm a degenerate, I switch shafts constantly. So every single time you switch a shaft, you got to do something to the head to make it right again, to get it to swing weight. So we put a 14-gram weight back there and a 9-gram weight back there. If you guys want to know what I was like on the Callaway truck, this is what it was in the mornings. Come on here and just work on my own stuff. Now I'm just doing it on the old Callaway truck. Okay, one of the cool things when you come out here to any LIV event domestically is this truck. So I'm obviously well familiar with these trucks. This is actually the old Callaway Tour trailer, which is now the LIV Golf Tour trailer. It's run by Jason Werner and Ben Genta. If you look at him up on Tour Van on Instagram, he's a pretty prolific fitter and builder. But there's a lot of fun stuff going on this truck. We're gonna give you a tour with Ben and Jason right now. So let's take a walk in here and see what's happening on the LIV Tour truck. So it's kind of funny, these were the stairs that I used to walk up when I worked at Callaway. Like you walk in here, this was our old truck. So it's very familiar to me, but you can see, take a scroll around. Boys, how's it going?
Hi.
That's Callaway Juan. That's Ben, that's Jason. Got a really awesome guy back there, and Dill. Kevin Napier from Mitsubishi's over here hiding. You got this guy, say hi. You gotta come out and say hi. Say hello. So, any given week, Benny, how busy does this truck get?
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's usually pretty busy from 7 a.m. to whenever we're done. I mean, we'll go deep sometimes. We'll be here till 6, 7 o'clock, just finishing up projects.
Right.
I mean, these are the days that everybody's doing work, so.
Would be Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday out here. Yeah, we'll get guys, we'll usually be here on Mondays. And we'll get guys that'll trail in on Monday afternoon, and we'll knock a few things out.
Right.
But this trailer stays open all week. You know, we open up basically Monday, and it's here until they peg it on Sunday. So
which is rare, because on tour they leave Wednesday afternoon around 1 o'clock. So the other thing that people don't really realize is this truck services everybody. So it's not like you have your Ping truck, your Srixon truck, your Callaway truck. Like this is it.
Yeah. So it's a big communal trailer. We've got pretty much every shaft company in here, every OEM. All the reps come and hang out and get their work done, which they're here today, right now. You know, decent amount of prep. You know, next week's the U.S. Open, so guys are working on projects for next week too, and just making sure they have everything they need. But yeah, I mean, our drawers are full. Like every OEM has probably got drawers like this full of shafts, right? We got all the Diamond stuff, you know, KBS.
This is typically the most expensive part of any truck.
Yeah, all right in here. Like this is for sure the most valuable.
$500,000 in shafts in here, probably.
A lot.
Throw a number on it.
But like, you know, if we flip around back onto this side, like Ping was one of the first OEMs to kind of jump on board and support us out here. And so they kind of squatted and took up a bunch of space. So they kind of have the most drawer space in here because they were the first ones in. But we've got product, you know, from everybody over here. We've got tailor-made stuff in here. We've got Titleist stuff in here. We've got some Cleveland Srixon stuff. This is our TaylorMade drawer. So, you know, we've got enough product in here to kind of satisfy the needs for players to come out and test. You know, it's usually somewhere between 2 and 3, you know, parts per SKU. So we don't need a whole lot more than that.
Okay.
And we just order stuff in as we go.
And who's, like, as far as players are concerned, and I'm sure Jason can probably answer this too, but like, who are the big tinkerers out here? Like, who's on here a lot? Like, how often is Charlie Hell on this truck?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys that come in here to do maintenance weekly, right? Like Bryson's in here weekly, but he's not necessarily tinkering. It's just we're doing lock lines and grips and making sure everything's right where it needs to be so he can go compete.
Okay.
You know, Anirban Lahiri's in here a fair amount. You know, a lot of it's the same thing though. Like a lot of these guys have their routines and they want to make sure that their gear's where it needs to be.
Right.
And yeah, some of them will want to test something here and there, or there's always the constant chase of a backup driver, backup fairway wood, because they break. I mean, they hit a lot of balls, they hit it hard,
and who's doing the like for. Like, say for example, if Anthony Kim comes on, like you have a personal from your Nike days, right? So
sure,
if he wants to get fit into some new stuff, are you taking care of that for him, or is that like if he's playing a Callaway driver?
Yeah, it's
a team effort.
It's a team effort.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's certain guys that we all have relationships with that we work with probably a little bit more than others.
Right.
And we'll just take those leads and make sure that the guys are covered. But anytime anybody walks in here, whoever's available will just jump in.
Like Bryson, for example, with his crankwoods, it's obviously not a big OEM, it's very specific. Like, how is that managed? Like, if something goes wrong with one of his woods, like, do you guys have heads here for him? Or
So they're very prepared. That whole team, Connor, his manager, his right-hand guy, he has heads with him, like in his backpack at all times.
Okay.
And they're all pre-vetted, right? So there'll be times, and we'll bring him in here and we'll throw him on the green machine, and we have a pretty good idea of where he needs to be loft and lie spec, of what will be good to at least test. And then he vets them out and he tests them and kind of categorizes, when something breaks, this is where he goes.
Okay.
So he's usually pretty prepared. I mean, you've seen it in tournaments. Stuff will break in the middle of the tournament, right? And he just pulls a head out and puts it in and goes.
Because he knows it's exactly the same.
Because he's already done all of the work.
Right.
He's not reinventing the wheel. He's already done the work to be prepared.
So let's talk about the truck really quick. So this was my old office, as a Callaway, and what was it, 2022, I think. So you took this truck over, and it looks obviously familiar, but there's some changes. Like, what exactly do you guys do to this?
Yeah, so when we got this thing, the only thing that was left in this trailer was some cabinetry.
Okay.
Nothing on the counters, no machinery, nothing. So we came in and got all brand new machinery. We have 2 retail locations, and so we wanted to be able to replicate a build, whether Jason's in Nashville, I'm up in Portland, or we're out here. If a player calls, we wanted to be able to replicate. So there's a couple pieces of equipment in here that are the same on all of our trailers.
Okay.
But our loft and lie machines are all calibrated the same. Our length board's all the same. The green machine is a big piece. You see these across
wood loft and lies and
So this thing is probably the most consistent piece of equipment that's in the industry, to be honest.
And do you prefer that over like the digital loft and lie machines that a lot of the trucks have with the touch points on the face?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But
you're not the only one. There's a lot of guys are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're right there.
Yeah.
Right behind Juan.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. So anyway, we took this trailer over. Nothing really in it. Brand new equipment. There was some cabinetry up here.
Yep.
We took that out to kind of open it up. Kind of reconfigured. There used to be another grip sink over here. There was 3 grip sinks. We felt like we wanted more counter space, more build space, so we took that out and kind of extended the counter.
Because that's the same. Like that looks the same. That's kind of the same. This is a little bit of the same.
Yeah. This upper deck up here where we do all of our grinding, we clean this up too.
Yeah, that used to be the wedge. That used to be where Simon worked. That was the wedge area.
Yeah, so we put our grinder in here, but then left all this open,
right?
Just to have a little bit more workspace. Again, when it's a communal trailer, we could have 5 or 6 reps in here,
right?
All working on something at the same time, and so we needed some counter space to be able to do that.
Because if I remember correctly, I think it was like irons were over here, wedges were over here, and this was all woods down here. Woods and putters were somewhere in here somewhere.
Yeah. Putters are over on this I think on this side.
Yes. Yeah.
And we didn't do a whole lot to the office. The office is still an office, but.
The last question I'll ask is like, you got all these reps out here now, and I guess the OEM presence is expanding every year. It gets bigger and bigger. But like, would it help if you guys had more space? More
I mean,
levers to pull.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, I think we've got a lot of resources that are in our drawers here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have everything we need, and if we don't have it in here, it's just a call away. And
right.
And all the manufacturers are very supportive, and we'll get the product here if we need to get it here.
Well, I gotta say, like from the first time, because I've known you for years, but when I first talked to you, it was kind of like, okay, I'm doing this, like, holy shit,
yeah,
here we go. And to see it like now as established, to see, Aaron and Juan and all these guys on the truck now using this place. It's actually kind of fun to see.
Yeah, it's cool.
It become established, like it's like a real thing.
Well, and it's kind of fun because it's a communal trailer, and we all get along well, and we're all here to help in. I think I saw Aaron jump in and do somebody's grips yesterday.
Well, that's Aaron. That's Aaron.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, Aaron Dill's a saint.
So. Yeah, no, everybody's here to help one another. We all have the same goal, make sure the players have what they need. So.
Right. Well, if I was going to add one note, I would say the one thing that we had a lot of on this truck was snacks. I don't see any coffee.
There's no snacks because they feed us well here.
Thank you, dudes.
Yeah. Thank you.